What is up, everybody? It's Hunter with Matt. We are joined by Mikey Romero. This is episode 545 of the Pesky Report, brought to you by Beyond the Monster. And as I just mentioned, Mikey Romero, Boston Red Sox shortstop, second baseman, one of their top prospects in the system. Oh, and he's got a dog with him. That's fantastic. So I feel like the right place to start was going to be Camp Story. But then I saw a tweet today and I felt like this would be the best place to start because I wanted to get your opinion. It was announced today Chad Tracy is coming back as the manager for the Worcester Red Sox. We've talked about it on here before. I said it on Twitter today. Unbelievable that this guy isn't managing in the majors somewhere. Massively lucky get for the Red Sox that he is still in the organization. So, Mikey, I want to start off by asking you what your thoughts are on Chad Tracy. Obviously, you've gotten to play under him and how excited you are to have him back.
Yeah, I'm really excited to get Trace back. I feel like in my short time in Worcester, kind of with him, I feel like I learned a lot just about the game and just the kind of way he treats us. He treats us like we're big leaguers, like we're pros. So I really like the way he runs it. It's very just like come in, get your work done, and then he expects us to play hard. And I appreciate that out of a manager, and I'm excited to have it back.
I know that this is obviously, a lot of times we have guys on, it's their first time. We have a lot of questions about like backstory and, how'd you get drafted and, what's it been like up to this point? I think at this point, it's kind of cool to be able to ask like follow-up questions from previous times you've been on and just to kind of see you feel like you've been in the organizations forever at this point, since 2022. It's your for what is it, your fourth actual full season playing in the organization at this point. What would you say, kind of looking backwards up to this point, how has your experience been different than you expected? Like when you got drafted, you kind of probably had this idea of like what to expect being a Red Sox or being a professional baseball player. How has that experience been different for you so far through like the last 4 years?
Yeah, I mean, well, when I got drafted, I mean, I wasn't expecting to obviously get hurt that first year. I was kind of expecting to go into it, kind of swinging right away. So I think that was obviously kind of one thing I wasn't really expecting. And then I think you kind of just like see the business side of the game as you kind of stay in it longer. Like as an 18-year-old kid getting drafted, like you're like, oh, I'm not going to get traded, or oh, like this isn't going to happen. And then like you see guys around you get moved, or you see guys around you go up, go down, make their debuts. So it's pretty cool, and I feel like I've learned just obviously this game is fun, but it's like still a business, and it's all about winning. So I feel like just like stuff like that is kind of what I've learned throughout just the past kind of 4 years, and then just like how to be a pro too on the baseball side of things, like how to take care of myself, what my training should look like, what my off season should look like, kind of everything I need to do to be ready to go.
You mentioned, oh, sorry, go ahead, Matt.
I was just gonna ask a follow-up to that. Do you think that, like, you mentioned, what it means to be a pro, so to speak. Um, were there people that tried to, like, prep you for that coming out of high school and, like, getting drafted? Like, was there anyone that kind of tried to give you some, like, coaching of, like, "Okay, you're going into pro ball, like, here's, what that's gonna look like?"
Yeah, I mean, obviously, I had Marcelo before I was drafted, so I just kind of like
Mhm.
would talk to him about how it was. But I feel like it's one of those things where you can't really like you can prepare to an extent, like you could prepare physically, in the sense of just like getting stronger and getting bigger, as like especially as an 18-year-old like kid coming in and you're about to play guys that are older than you. So I think like you could prepare in that way, but like mentally, and then like your routine, like when I was 18, like I show up to the park and I barely need to stretch, I barely need to do anything. I just go and hit and I go and throw and wake up and do it again every single day. And then, as you get older, even though I'm 22, like even like last year, like I'll never do anything without doing anything before, whether that's like some sort of prep, just because like my body is kind of what's going to carry me through this game. So I've learned the importance of obviously taking care of it. And I also know what it's like to not be playing and it sucks. So like I do everything I can to prepare for a day of baseball. And that's just like one of those things that you don't really learn. I guess coming out of high school, it's kind of one of those things where some guys they learn, some guys they get punched in the mouth like I did. I got hurt. And then it's just one of those things that you kind of learn as you keep going.
You mentioned the business side, and that's something Red Sox fans have had a massive roller coaster with in the last couple weeks. And Alex Bregman was kind of like penciled in by most Red Sox fans at this point to be the Red Sox third baseman for the next 5 seasons, 6 seasons, however long they thought the deal was going to end up being. Obviously, that did not happen. And we've seen the fans kind of scrambling to figure out what this lineup could look like this year and beyond. And you're someone who I don't want to say benefits from Alex Bregman being gone, but your path to the majors is a little bit more open with the Red Sox. And obviously you've only played in 45 games in AAA, so there's probably a little bit more time you need to spend there. But is that something, I don't want to say like lit a fire under you, because I'm sure either way you're working as hard as you possibly can and focused on getting to the majors. But is that something where like you kind of see that path now of, oh, the Red Sox are currently in the need of a third baseman and a second baseman. I can play either of those positions, and there's a path for me now to fight my way to the majors in 2026. Is that something that has kind of hit you a little bit?
Yeah, I mean, I'd be lying to say if I looked at that and I wasn't like, oh wow, I have a serious chance to hopefully, make a team at some point. And I think that like obviously, like you said, like either way, I'm going into camp like trying to like earn a spot like out of camp. Like that's my goal. If I wasn't going into camp with that goal, I'd be worried. So like my goal, whether he was here or not, or whoever was there, is to go into camp trying to earn a job. Obviously, right now there are jobs open, and that's my goal is to try and be a opening day starter. And I think that's a good goal to have. So that's yeah. I mean, that's how I'm working. That's kind of how my mindset is in the off season. Is I'm going prepared. I'm going ready to learn. Obviously, we have a lot of talent around us and in that organization. But also at that same time, I'm going like competing and trying to build the trust of my pitchers, AC, to hopefully give me a shot at some point.
And then you said going into camp. And to me, that's just the perfect transition to camp story.
Mm.
Obviously, there was a ton of social media stuff. The Red Sox were putting it out there. Everyone that was at Camp Story was putting it out there. How did you get the invitation? Was it just like Trevor Story reached out to you? And then what was that experience like? What was it like bonding with those guys? Obviously, you've had a past relationship with Marcelo Meyer is very obvious. You've been teammates with Roman Anthony. But they like I'm assuming this was your first time meeting Tristan Gray. So what was all of that like?
Yeah. Well, so in 23, I think that was the first year that Story did the camp. And that was when we were both rehabbing. He was doing his elbow and I was doing my back. So we got to spend a lot of time together there. And then I was actually supposed to go to that 23 one, and then it just didn't work out because I was still finishing up rehab. And then the
we have lost Mikey.
I'm gonna pause it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So with like the Story camp and stuff, was supposed to do it in 23, and then just with kind of my rehab with my back, it didn't really work out. And then got the invite this year. I think when he first mentioned it to me, I was posting a video of me hitting on Instagram, and he just like slid up, and he was like, "Got to get you out to Texas," and I was like, like let's go, and then I just put like story camp and all exclamation kind of points. It was pretty funny. And then he sent out the text probably like a month and a half kind of before, maybe a month before the actual kind of camp was supposed to take place, and just put us in a group chat, let us know that this is what he was thinking. And I mean, obviously I was like, yes, like let's go, like let's do it. And then yeah, got to meet, new guys. I knew Story, I knew Roman, I knew Solo. I knew JD a little bit of Duran. But like I didn't it was cool to get to like spend time with him, and just get to know him more. He's a really good dude and works hard. And I enjoyed just the way he handles himself. And then Gray as well. Really good player, carries himself really well. He like helped me a bunch just like getting around, because he's not too far from Dallas. So he had his car and I didn't have to Uber everywhere, which was really nice. Um, but yeah, it was good to meet those guys, and then obviously spend time with the guys I already knew, which were like Story, Roman, and Cello. So it was good to see them.
And was that a lot of like, is that kind of just Trevor's Story has this plan and this is what you guys are going to do? Or is it kind of like Jaron Duran's like, hey, this is a workout that I do and everybody does it? And then you're like, hey, this is something I do? Or is it just kind of like Trevor Story's got this whole week planned out for us?
Yeah, I think one thing that's like really cool that Trevor has is like he has a really good team around him. Like he has PTs, he has a trainer, he has his hitting coach, the same guy who also hits some fungos. So like he has a really good team around him, and he also has a really nice facility that he built. So like when it comes to the training, like we were kind of just experiencing what it was like for him in his off season, and we were doing like his workouts and stuff that's kind of prescribed to him. And I thought that was really cool, because like you kind of wonder like what an off season looks like of the caliber of a player that Story is. And it's like no shocker, like just because of how talented he is, like the work that he puts in, the work that he does. It's a testament to obviously why he's so good. So it was good to see it. And it made me feel good knowing that like my off season work is like fairly similar in the sense of like how hard I'm working, and the like ground balls, hitting, running, very similar. So that made me feel good. But it was just cool to see that a guy in his position and kind of how hard he's worked throughout his career is like still continuing to kind of push it, and not let off the gas.
Yeah. And you guys are obviously, it's obviously a friendly situation going on, but is there a level of competition in any of the drills or
Oh
workouts or
yeah.
anything?
Yeah, I mean, there like if there wasn't, I'd be worried. Like me, him. I think Gray had to leave. Gray had to leave a little bit early because he was getting ready to fly out to Fenway for Fenway Fest. But we did like it's called a goalie drill, where you set up two cones, and you're basically like first step pre-pitch, and like you're reacting, and the guy hitting fungos basically just kind of hitting rockets trying to get it past you. And that was funny. Like we were kind of going at each other, and it was just fun to like compete, and crack jokes and kind of talk some trash to each other. But it was good. And it was like we were definitely competing in everything that we did, where it was hitting, lifting, running, throwing, kind of all of it.
I saw some photos with some pretty yeehaw cowboy hats going on. Did you actually purchase a cowboy hat, and do you have it? Like, can you put it on?
I don't have it right now. It's actually on its way to Fort Myers. But yeah, we did get some pretty cool cowboy hats that were like fitted to us, which is something I never experienced. And it was cool that Trevor did that for us.
That's pretty cool. Did you get like custom in embroidery or engraving or whatever
No, we
they
just
do
got
on
it
those?
like shaped. We got it like shaped to our head. Like they had it on us and they were like shaping it to our head. And then they like doing the steam and stuff. It was really cool. Never experienced anything like that.
That is pretty cool. Actually, didn't I guess I didn't even realize they do custom fitted cowboy hats, but it makes sense, especially
Yeah.
if they're high quality. Who had the biggest head? Like, did you guys roast anybody for
It was
their head size?
Solo. Solo was wearing like a 7.5. I mean, but it's basically because of his hair though. He's got so much hair. Like I was a 3/8, and then or no, maybe I was a half. Maybe Solo was a 5/8, and that's why he was getting kind of roasted.
That would
But
make
he
sense.
Solo had the biggest head. It was funny.
So Tristan Gray's hair is pretty majestic as well. Was it
Yeah,
not?
he has good hair, but Solo's hair like kind of goes out, whereas Gray's goes like behind his ears and kind of down. So I think that was kind of the difference.
have you ever been peer pressured into growing your hair out longer and trying to rock like a lot? You already have like pretty cool hair anyways, but like,
Mhm.
do you ever just like think about growing it all the way out?
I mean, I usually at the start of the year my hair is like short and then I won't cut it. And like towards the end of last year when I was in like Worcester, like my hair was long. Like not like crazy long, but I had flow coming out of the back of my hat. And then in 24, when I first got to Greenville, my hair was really long. Like I was able to like put it up in a bun, just super long. So I usually will just grow it out. I like the flow look, especially in the hat and season.
So what you're saying is postseason Mikey's hair is like gonna be pretty much fire.
Yeah, yeah. My hair always looks good though. So
Yeah.
So you've now played games at all 4 levels. You've played in Salem, Greenville, Portland, and Worcester. Can you rank the 4 ballparks based on how much you liked playing in them?
yeah, I'll do how much I liked hitting in them.
So Salem's last.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
I'll do Greenville first, Worcester, Portland, and then Salem. But Greenville's just a bandbox. Like I hit balls there that like were like not supposed to go out. And like so it's like I hit a ball like 95 one day, like oppo, and it carried over that left center wall, and I was like, damn, like did that just go out? And I have it like in Worcester, like most of my home runs were like not cheap ones. But like using the big league balls obviously helped. And then Salem's a rough spot to hit at. It's not the best spot to hit
Yeah,
at.
no, that robs people of a lot of hits.
Yeah.
So when you were in Greenville, did you get to play in Asheville at all? Because that's like a true little.
I didn't like that. I didn't like Asheville that much.
Really?
Like, yeah, even though it's like 290 to right, like when I get into a park like that, I'm like, I'm just gonna launch everything. And like BP is obviously fun just because like you're trying to like just hit bombs, but I felt like Asheville just the wall like felt really close. And I hit a ball there. It was like a ground ball that got through, like got past the first baseman, and it just rolled to the wall, and I hit a double out of it. And it was just kind of like, it's kind of a joke, honestly. It's like this feels a joke. Like
They also don't have broadcast, which is infuriating, but that's always the week for the weekly minor league show where we have to explain to people, don't
Yeah.
look too much into these stats because inevitably there's going to be a hitter that hit 580 with 6 homers, and inevitably there's going to be a pitcher who gave up 12 runs, and
Yeah.
neither of those should be taken too seriously.
Yeah, I definitely think that park's like one of the probably the most like kind of, I guess the best word I could say is like joke of like just kind of like you're gonna either go off there and hit a bunch of homers, or as a pitcher you're gonna give up a bunch of homers. So yeah, it's just one of those things where the field really kind of plays a role
Is
into it.
there a non-Red Sox park that has stood out to you? Like I know I think it's like Coney Island, not Coney Island, but like a Staten Island team or something where like you can
Yeah.
see roller coasters in the back and stuff. Like, is there a field that stood out to you just as fun?
I mean, Durham was pretty sick when I got up to Worcester. That place was pretty cool. And then, I mean, my favorite place to hit out was probably Double A New Hampshire, because like the wall there was like that place was a bandbox for lefties. Like I went through a stretch there where like when I first got called up in 24 to Double A, like I hit 3 homers there, and then my first series there this year I hit 3 homers. And then the next series there, I hit 2, but I was like on a streak where I didn't like leave there without hitting 3 homers, and it was just fun because the wall is like 300. But like it felt more like a baseball field instead of like Asheville, where it's like 290, but the wall's super high. Like this place was just kind of like, hey, I'm like this week I might just try and hit a little bit more pull side, but yeah, I mean, Durham was sick, New Hampshire, and then what's the Hartford? Is that Duncan Park? I think.
Yeah, yep.
Yeah, that place is pretty sweet.
Because it
too.
always
That
annoys
place-
me that they're Duncan Park.
yeah, that place has a good crowd, good energy, and it's a really nice field.
Obviously, I'm up in Maine right now, and I remember it wasn't this past season, but the season before, where the start to the Portland season was like snow out, snow out, snow out, snow out.
Mm-hmm.
Being someone who, grew up on the West Coast and obviously the first couple of seasons, playing with the warmer weather teams, what was your experience like playing up in the cold in Maine?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't really mind it honestly. Like I felt like I did a good job of keeping my hands warm, and my face pretty warm with like the mask thing that I wore. But like it wasn't too bad. When my hands were warm, like I was fine. But like if my hands got cold, that's when it kind of sucked. Especially like going up before hitting. But I actually felt like it wasn't like as bad because I felt warm most of the time because I was moving a lot. Um, I mean, don't get me wrong, like it still sucked. Like playing in the warm was way better. But like I was prepared for like misery and like it was still bad, but it wasn't like oh like I can't hit or oh I can't throw the ball right now. Like it was fine.
Were there certain guys on the team that like took it worse than others? Like, you'd look over and they just be like, like just wanting to just be off the team right now. They're like, no, this is the worst.
Honestly, like I had a couple off days, and I think the guys who had the off days and like pitchers who weren't throwing, I think those guys had it the worst. Because like when you're out there and it's like, yeah, I think we're playing. It's like probably like 26, but it's like feels like 17. Like those days were the worst when you just had an off day sitting on the bench doing nothing. But like when you were playing, it's usually like not terrible. But yeah, I mean, a couple guys were like, yeah, this is freezing. Like Leendo, or one of our Latin guys, he's pretty funny. Like he's just like, or he'd come and be like, Frio, Papi, Frio. It's just funny.
Is that something that you've noticed? I feel like this is something we've talked about with a couple people before. Just it's probably more prevalent in the lower levels, mainly because it's more of people's first time there. But has I don't know how to word this. But you mentioned Leendo.
Mm.
Is there like a culture shock sometimes with the Latin players? Just because like I know in the lower levels, like if you look at Salem's lineup right now, it's probably skewing like 70% Latin, 30% Americans.
Hmm.
Is that something where almost clicky? Like I know people have said before, like the pitchers hang out with the pitchers, the hitters hang out with the pitchers, or the hitters hang out with the hitters. Is that something where you feel like there's a good melting pot in the Red Sox system where it's just like, hey, we're all just hanging out and laughing? I know, again, you mentioned Leendo. I know he's someone that people like watching his um, batting practice because he has a lot more power than he tends to show in games. So it's fun to just sit there and watch those. Is that something that uh, almost kind of connects you guys? Just like, hey, everybody's going to sit here and watch Leendo, or a pitcher's going to go out there and going to try to rob one of his homers.
Yeah. I like Leendo, like I'll use him as an example. Leendo is like one of my like homies. I love being around him. Like he's such a like obviously a good player, but like I love being around him. He's so funny, and he's full of jokes. And I feel like the Red Sox like obviously have an experience in the organization, but like as a group of just like Red Sox players, I feel like it's good. Like there's always a good like vibes and communication and just good like friendship between the American and Latin guys. Like obviously like guys will like the Latin guys will stick to the guys that are Latin and speak Spanish just because there's that language kind of barrier. But like I like there's like how should I word this? Like it's we have good friendships, like there's good vibes. Like me, Marvin Alcantara, like I love talking to him. He speaks pretty good English, and a lot of them do speak pretty good English. But like I like there's a lot of them where I just like kick it with them, like during BP or during hitting or before the game playing cards. Like we're all still like hanging out, and I think that's pretty cool.
Is there someone at this point? I'm not any teammate who you've. I feel like you're not going to want to answer this honestly because you're going to be afraid it sounds like you're picking favorites here. But is there anyone who you particularly like? Let's say you're at second base, who has been your favorite shortstop? Like, oh, this guy I have good chemistry with. Like, I always know he's going to give me a perfect ball for a double play or something.
Man, I mean, most of the time in Portland, like I played with Alcantara at shortstop, and like I tell everyone, I'm like, if that guy played shortstop in the big leagues right now, like he'd be fine. Like he'd probably be a plus defender. So it's I mean I probably should say him, and then like obviously in Triple A I had Sogi and Gris. Those guys mainly played short there, but I'll give Alcantara this. Just like I loved watching him play defense, and he's one of the best defenders I've ever seen. So it was good to. It's always fun playing like a position where your shortstop is obviously really good, and on a double play he's gonna give you a perfect feed, or he's just gonna get the ball to you pretty quickly. So no, that was definitely him. He's a stud.
Was it a hard adjustment in AAA, chemistry wise on defense? Just because most AAA teams, and this was especially true for Worcester, is just so many moving parts. Like Sogi was there for a little bit, and then he's back up in the majors. So now Grisham's playing short, and then they're throwing Christian Campbell at different positions in different games, and then someone's getting traded, and someone's getting called up, and someone's getting demoted. So it's like every game, it feels like there's a completely different defensive alignment. Did that make it difficult for you to kind of get into a rhythm, even if you're playing the same position? Because it's like, well, now there's 3 different people playing the infield with me.
Yeah, I mean, not really, honestly. Like I feel like each person at their own position is like just trying to handle business, no matter who's there. And like I feel like no matter what position you're at, like you still have to make the plays. You have to make the routine plays. You're expected to turn double plays. So like I don't think it's really a matter of like who's where or do I have chemistry with this person. Like it's I've never really kind of thought like that. It's more of like let's get the out or like let's turn the double play. Like I don't care who's there. I don't care what it looks like. Well, let's get it done. So that's kind of where my mindset is like I maybe in the big leagues, which obviously I've never experienced, where it's like you have a set shortstop and a set second baseman who are together every day. Maybe that's a little different, but I mean, at least in the minor leagues so far, it's just been like, hey, like let's turn this double play or let's make the routine play, and that's kind of been what it is.
How's it been transitioning to third base? I know you played your first game in the, um, oh my gosh, I'm blanking on the name of
Spring breakout, spring breakout.
yeah, the spring breakout game. Yep, thank you. First time ever. I heard you talking about it with Andrew Parker the other day, and you were laughing about the fact that you played your first game out there and made an error or two in that game. And so, how's the transition been to third base? And do you have a preference at this point? Like, does third base, second base, shortstop, do any of those positions like you feel like okay, this is kind of my favorite, but I feel like I can play any of them?
Yeah. I mean, I got really comfortable at third. Like especially in Worcester, I only played third and second up there. So I enjoyed, playing there. I felt really relaxed there. I felt like one of my best attributes in my defense is the ability to use one hand, and that's a position that's like very one hand oriented. So I felt like I kind of shined there. And then I mean, second base was also really comfortable for me. I've played there before, plenty of times. So, I mean, I wouldn't say I'm more comfortable at one versus the other. It was just a matter of kind of learning the position, learning the reads at third base. Because second base, it's very similar. But you have a lot of time. But at third base, you're gonna have to make a lot more of the right reads, or else the ball might eat you up, or a runner might be safe. And then also learning like the bunt defense too was a big one. But felt comfortable at both of them for sure.
And just going back to kind of when you were talking about building camaraderie with your teammates, the last time you were on our show, you had talked about that you just learned the game Mafia like the week before.
Yeah.
Um, do you know, like, first off, is there a go-to, game that you guys have kind of evolved to playing now? Is it still Mafia? Do you guys do something else different on like your longer travel days together? And if so, if there's any new games, what is kind of like the more popular ones that you guys are doing now?
We play a game called Pasoy. I don't really know how to explain it, but it's like a card game, kind of like poker hands. And basically the first person to get rid of all their cards wins. And then we play a game called Pluck, which is very similar to like Spades. And then I'm trying to think. Those are really the two main ones that we'll play. And then we'll have like poker nights sometimes. I have like a pretty big poker set. And we'll play poker a decent amount. But yeah, I mean, before games, cards on the bus, cards. There's a lot. We play a lot of cards, so it's fun.
So you're the poker master. You got the
I
the
don't
whole
know
setup.
about that. I don't know. Blaze Jordan before he left, it was so annoying because like guy has no clue how to play poker and he would just take everyone's money, and that's like the most annoying thing ever. Is like he would just like play random hands and he wouldn't even have a good hand, and then he'd win like on the turn of the river, and I would just be like, bro, like it's a joke.
I remember you telling me that at the start of the
Oh my
year,
gosh, it's the
and I
most
asked him
frustrating thing
about it, and
ever.
he openly admitted that he would look on his phone to see if his hand was good
Yes, you. The thing
because
was,
he
is like
didn't know if it was good.
he would. I remember one time, I think he had like pocket kings, and like whenever he looked at his phone, everyone's like, "Oh, he obviously has something good." So the guy has pocket kings. He's like looking at his phone, trying to be all secret. I'm like, bro, I'm not gonna bet against you right now. Like you obviously have something good. Like I'm not doing that. It's funny. And then he'd look at his phone and be like, "All right, I'm all in." Like, all right, I'm not playing.
That'd be like the
Uh,
ultimate bluff, though. At that point, just he
Yeah,
just has
it
a
would be.
if you used it right.
man.
Now that it's the off season, do you guys do anything to stay in touch? Even if it's weekly FaceTime to play a game, or you're playing Xbox or PlayStation together or something? Is there anything you and a group of teammates do? Obviously, it's not going to be everyone, or even you and someone like Blaze, who obviously isn't in the organization anymore. Is there something you guys do to keep the bond going in the off season?
Yeah, I mean, not much, honestly. I feel like I stay in touch with a lot of guys, whether that's text or call. I try and check in with guys, just see how their off season's going. So I try and do that a lot, but I mean, not much when it comes to. I guess playing video games. No, not really. Like if a guy's on and I see he's on, and he's not playing with him, I might just join his party and be like, "Yo, what's up?" And then we might play. But yeah, for the most part, I feel like guys after the season, I feel like guys are like, all right, like we were just with each other for like 7, 8 months, like let's spend time with some family. Maybe turn off the phone and kind of go from there. But at this point, I like to like check in with guys and see how they're doing, see how their off season's going and stuff.
What games are you playing?
I've been playing Arc Raiders a lot. I've been playing a lot of Arc Raiders, and then I'm on PC, so I play like CS:GO, Valorant, but mainly Arc Raiders right now.
In
I'm a
I
league.
have some friends that have been trying to get me to play that.
What, Arc Raiders?
Yeah, they keep telling me to download it. I haven't yet.
It's
But
fun. You should. It's really fun.
in season, do you play any show? And if so, do you get like the real 99 card?
Yeah. So I had my real 99 this past year, and then honestly though, I don't really like playing over the show because I'm like I go play baseball. I go to the field. I'm at the field for 8 hours, and I come back and I'm playing a baseball game. It's like I'd rather not do that. I'd rather play like a. I got really into this hunting game. It was like Hunter Call the Wild, and it was just super peaceful. Like I would just walk around, and then I mean I'd
Oh,
go
those type of
hunting.
games are the best, where you're like there's no stress. I'm just out
Yeah,
here
yeah.
hunting
I
or
was just
fishing
out
or
there
whatever it
hunting.
is.
Yeah, it was actually really fun, and I had a couple friends from just back home that I would play with. But me and a couple guys, we got really big on like Rainbow Six Siege at one point. So there's always something, whether it's Call of Duty. There's always guys playing.
There was a long period of time where I would play Red Dead Redemption 2, and I would just load it up and fish for like 2 hours. And it was just the most peaceful thing in the world. Like it was just like if I'm pissed off or stressed about something,
Yeah,
I was like, just do this and catch some fish or hunt or whatever, and just don't even think about anything else.
yeah,
You're just as stress free as possible.
for
I
sure.
just saw it.
What?
I think I just saw yesterday that they announced like there's going to be an open world style like park ranger game where you can just be like a park ranger in a national park and you just walk around like fixing signs and like, you know, making sure there's no poachers in the woods and all that crap. It's like, okay.
That's
That's pretty
the
cool.
power wash simulator.
Like
Incredible, dude.
literally,
Incredible. You're just cleaning.
You mentioned Blaze Jordan at one point. Obviously, he was your roommate in Portland. How did you like? How was the experience of like one of your friends getting traded like that? You know, kind of. I know, obviously, like you probably mentally prepare that anything could happen. You understand the business side of things, but yeah, when your roommate is literally traded, I know it probably hits a little different. So, what was that experience like? I know you guys are both believers and stuff like that, so I'm sure you had a bond there too.
Yeah, Blaze is one of my best friends. We obviously shared a lot in common. When he got called up, he was already in trips, so I had a different roommate. I had Tibbs, who also got traded. So that was pretty interesting. But yeah, Blaze, like that one kind of like I was like, damn, bro, like I love this guy, and I was happy for him though, because like I think that just you know like the success he was having, I was like, like he's gonna make his debut at some point, and I was happy for him, and obviously we still talk a bunch, so I enjoy keeping up with him. But yeah, I mean, whenever a guy gets traded, especially one that you're close with, it kind of hurts a little bit, but you're also happy for them just in the opportunity that they can have too. So
So if all your roommates are getting traded, do you know who you're rooming with this year, and should we let them know ahead of time?
I don't know who I'm rooming with this year. I actually just called Max Ferguson. I asked him if he wanted a room. So I was like, "Yo, you want a room?" And he said yes. So
All right,
Seems kind of
Twitter trade
evil of you,
proposal.
knowing
We're gonna,
knowing the
yeah.
trend.
yeah, but yeah, Tibbs and Blaze gone.
We never really got to talk much about Tibbs because he was kind of just here and then
Here and
gone
gone.
the next day.
Yeah, it was an interesting. Like that one was crazy. I was just like, because when that one came out, we were like, "Yo, who got traded?" Because we had our group chat, and like Zach Earhart goes, "It was me," and then Tibbs also goes, "It was me too," and we were like, "Wait, what?" Like, it was just crazy. We weren't expecting it, but I mean, both of them are studs, obviously. So
Can you talk about your call up to AAA? How did you get the news? Like, how was it broken to you? Did they, prank you like you were getting traded like they did, with Sandlin and those guys? Or kind of how did your, experience with getting called up go?
yeah, so like the trade deadline ended August 31st, or no, wait, when does it end? Was it 31st of August? No, wait,
Sounds
August.
right.
No, it's not August 1st. It's not August 31st. But like, cause I was up in AAA for about 2 months, but when I got that call, the deadline was
July
at
31st.
6. July 31st. There you go.
Yeah.
When I got the call, it was like 6:15 on the deadline day, and obviously no trades can happen after 6, but like trades will still be going through. So Epi called me at like 6:15, and I see his name, and I'm like, did I just get traded? Like what? Like I was kind of mentally preparing to hear that I got traded. And then he calls me and I answer. I'm like, "Yo, what's up, Ep?" And he's like, "You're gone." And I'm like, "What do you mean I'm gone?" And he's like, "You're going up to Worcester." And I was like, "Oh, let's go!" Like I was pretty fired up, but it was funny. Just kind of the way that he did it, and he didn't immediately say, "Oh, you're going up." He was like, "Oh, you're gone," and I'm like, "What do you mean I'm gone?"
And this man's out here fake trading everyone on the team at this point. You're like, I don't know.
Epi's a jokester. Epi's the man. He's one of my favorite managers I've ever had. So it was pretty funny.
Who was the first person you called?
Well, my wife was there, and then I think the first person I called was my mom, just let her know. And then she was obviously emotional and excited. So it was cool.
Has it set in yet that you're like literally one call away from the big leagues? Or do you still like sometimes have a little bit of like that like imposter syndrome where you're like, I'm here, but like I don't know if I'm like totally there yet? Or are you 100% like, nope, this is real. I've worked here, I've earned this, and I know that like this is where I'm meant to be right now.
Yeah. I think that like I feel like I'm in the spot especially going into this year where I'm like, I'm right there. Like I'm fighting for a job. Like I'm on the brink of it. I think going into the call up in AAA, it was more of like a kind of here to get my feet wet. You know, I don't really think I'm gonna get called up. But with that being said, I was still like in the mindset of, hey, if they need me, like I'm ready. You know, like let's go. But I feel like this year the shift has just kind of been like hey, like I've been in AAA, I know what it's like, I know what to expect, but like I'm trying to make a big league team, I'm trying to get that call up and debut. Um, but yeah, I mean that's kind of what it is.
So every year since you've been drafted, we've seen an uptick in games. You know, 19 in 2022, obviously that's the year you get drafted. No one's going to play a lot of games those years because you're joining the organization well into the season.
I'm glad you got that
34
right, by the way. Not many people get that right, where it's like everyone's like, yo, he played 19 games in 22. I'm like, bro, I got drafted in 22. So I'm glad you got that right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the reason I mentioned it, because that is something that seems to trip up a lot of people.
Yeah.
But then 34 games in 23, jumped all the way up to 78 in 24, and then a massive jump again to 111 last year. And with the improved health every season, we've also seen massive improvements in the power, to the point where, you know, 2023, like the beginning of 2024, the talk around you was kind of like, oh, he's got one of the prettiest swings in the system, and maybe that can translate to 15 plus home run power. And now it's kind of like, me personally, and I feel like a lot of other evaluators, well, a lot of evaluators, I'm not going to say I'm an evaluator, but a lot of people will say, you know, there's 25 plus home run power in the swing. How much has that been a focus for you? Because the leaps that we've seen, especially over the last 2 years, has just been incredible, where it's not that the swing has potential to do things because it's so pretty anymore. And it's literally just, hey, this is a power hitting middle infielder, which is a pretty rare and valuable thing for a lot of organizations.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of funny just to like think of myself now as a guy like that has some juice. Like coming out of high school as an 18-year-old, I was probably a buck like 80, and right now I'm like sitting like 210, 212 with, you know, the most muscle, the strongest I've ever felt. So like I think it's pretty cool. And then in 24, like I think I was like 195 to like I don't even think I hit 200 that year. But I was like 195, and honestly, hitting the 16 home runs that year, kind of like I was like, yo, like that was kind of crazy. After like looking back at it, but then I think I just realized that like I was a lot stronger than I kind of thought, I guess, and that I could impact the ball a lot more. And then this past year, it felt really strong going into the year. Knew that I could impact the ball from obviously my previous year. And then just with the added strength, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna do this again. But I mean, it's definitely kind of been an adjustment because like I've never been a guy. I've never been a guy where I'm like I'm going up trying to hit home runs. Like for me, like I'm always just trying to hit the ball hard. I'm trying to be on time, and like with, you know, like my 90th EV, like obviously jumping quite a bit this past year, and then my max EV and just hard hit rate, and then barrel percentage, like I was able to obviously do a lot of damage. So like for me, I feel like I'm just trying to go up there and get a good pitch to hit. And if I know that if I hit it with, you know, if I get my barrel to it, it's going to usually be hit pretty hard. So that's kind of where I'm at with that. You know, like the homers, I feel like I'm not necessarily trying to. It's more of like I'm gonna hit something hard for, you know, an extra base hit, and then, you know, occasionally I'm gonna clip one. But that's kind of what I think.
Okay, well, first off, you said 210.
Yeah, I'm 210 right now.
Minor League Baseball still has you listed at 6'1",
I
175.
know, it's
Someone's
crazy.
got to get on that, because that's mad disrespectful.
It's crazy. Some
That's incredibly disrespectful.
people are always coming up to me. They're like, "Yo, you are not 175," and I'm like, "Bro, I know." And the
And
crazy
that's what they
thing
did
is-
with Yastinson Garcia too. Anytime I would post one of his
Yeah,
videos, I would get like 30 comments like, he's not 160 pounds. And I'm like,
yeah.
they weighed him back in 2018 and they haven't changed it. I don't know what to tell you.
Crazy. Like, bro, come on, I'm not 175.
So with the introduction of the home runs, have you noticed pitchers and teams approaching you differently?
I mean, I think it varies like week to week. I mean, I feel like every guy, like every pitcher, is just trying to throw his best stuff. Like, I don't think they're necessarily like, oh, like Mikey Romero's in this lineup, like he has power. Maybe, you know, in their meeting, it's like, hey, if you leave something over the plate, he might hit it, you know, for a home run or hit it hard. But I feel like for the most part, every pitcher's like, hey, like here's my best stuff against your best stuff, and that's kind of what I think. But I think it varies week to week. Like there's been weeks where I've had 4 homer weeks or 3 homer weeks, and then there's been weeks where I've just hit a lot of doubles. So I think the plan will change week to week. I feel like when I got up to AAA, my biggest kind of struggle those first 10 days was I was overswinging. Like I was swinging way too much, which kind of like upticked my chase a little bit. And then after that first week, like everything was just way better. Swing percentage was down, chase percentage was way down. And then that's when I really started doing damage with the homers, the doubles, and then just the hard hit ball stuff. But yeah, I mean, kind of when they adapt, like I try and adapt too, you know?
So 33 doubles, 17 home runs were both career highs for you last year. 76 RBIs, also a career high. Obviously I'm sure you have the goals of like staying healthy, getting to the majors, stuff like that. But is there a benchmark for the doubles, the homers, the RBIs, whatever that you want to hit? Like, are you like, this is the year I get to 20 homers. This is the year I drive in 90 runs. This is the year I hit 40 doubles. Is there anything like that? Or do you just kind of go out there and you're like, I'm just going to hit the piss out of the ball every time?
Yeah. I mean, I think like, I feel like I'd be lying if I wasn't like, hey, I want to hit 25 homers this year and I want to hit 50 doubles with 100 RB. Like I want to do that stuff. But I feel like when I think like that, I almost get like overly kind of aggressive with it to where for me, I'm a guy who does better when I'm thinking more like simple. So it's like, hey, like this year, if I can get good pitches to hit, lower my chase, and keep my same kind of barrel percentage, kind of all that like similar stuff. Like my 90th EV is going to go up. I'm stronger and heavier than I've ever been. My max EV is going to go up. I'm not like worried about that. But it's just like for me, it's hey, like let's get good pitches to hit, and I know that if I get good pitches to hit, like I'm going to produce these numbers. It's just a matter of time. Like and that's something I'm pretty confident in. That's something I've talked to Marcelo about too. Like he's always told me, he's like, bro, like if you get good pitches to hit, like you're gonna produce, and that's kind of the same thing that we've talked about with each other, where it's like you swing at strikes, like you're gonna produce, and that's kind of what our conversations have been like. But that's kind of where I'm at.
And then you had 4 triples last year, 4 triples the year before.
Mm-hmm.
Tyler Milliken of the Section 10 podcast famously does nips for trips. Whenever someone on the Red Sox hits a triple, he posts a picture with his shirt off, and it's become its own thing at this point. Where anytime someone hits a triple, it's my whole timeline is just people saying, "Take your shirt off, Tyler."
I don't think I've never seen this.
Well, he does not do it for the minor league games, despite the fact that I have begged him to 1,000 times.
Yeah.
So I want you to make a statement to him right now that when you hit your first triple this year, even if it's in AAA, he needs to take his shirt off. I want you to say that to him right now.
I feel like we gotta save that though. Like you can't just do it in AAA. Like
you want it for the majors?
Yeah, it's got to be saved for the big leagues.
All right. I feel like the minor league guy should get some love too, but I think the timeline would be happy with more Tyler Milliken shirtless pictures. But
oh, that's funny.
I guess coming into the season this year, you talked about wanting to try and improve, and you said stealing more bases. You actually quadrupled your number from 1 to 5 at successful stolen bases.
Mm-hmm.
Few caught stealings in there as well, but what's kind of your take right now on like your potential as like a base stealer? Like, do you see yourself as someone who is could steal 15 bags a year, or do you see like, okay, like I'm sneaky fast, but like I'm not gonna go out there swiping bags left and right?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the situation will kind of depend on a lot of stuff. I feel like, obviously, like I'm trying to continue to get faster. I'm still at the age where I can have a lot of adaptation with that. So like for me, like if I'm not going to be a guy who swipes bags, I need to be really good at dirt ball reads. I need to have a really good secondaries. I need to take extra 90s when they're given to me. Like with that being said, a lot of like kind of where I struggle with in the stealing part is more so like the first like 10 steps. Like usually I kind of just will come up really quick instead of staying low and kind of pushing through.
Mhm.
Um, but like that's been an obviously like a point of emphasis for me. So like if I can do that, then yes, like I would love to steal 15 to 20 bags, and that would just like kind of increase, my team's chances of winning, and obviously just increase my own value. But like I would love to be able to do that. But with that being said, like if I'm going to be a guy who is going to be more like, hey, like let's not even be on first base, let's hit a double, like let's just be on second base right away. Then that might be it too. But I'd love to be able to do both. But like I said,
You
like I
gotta
need
you
to
gotta
be.
steal third then, you know?
Yeah, right. But like, yeah, I think being able to take the extra 90 when it's given to me, have really good secondaries, dirt ball reads, I think all that's going to be really important for me going forward. And it's going to be something I should make sure I take a lot of pride in, just because like those little things matter, like especially in the big leagues, like to winning games. So that'll be something that's very important. But like the main focus of my offseason has been a lot of like quickness in my lifts, with jumping and moving weight quick, lateral movements. Like a big goal for me was to get quicker laterally on defense, and then get arm strength, because like the more balls I'm going to get to, the more kind of arm strength I'll need. So this offseason has been a lot of that. So yeah.
With playing third base, have you really noticed like it's a little bit harder strain on your arm making that throw across the diamond?
Uh no, I mean, a lot of people don't realize like that throw in the backhand at shortstop is like a 55 yard throw. Like it's a pretty like I might be actually over exaggerating that, but I saw a picture of a baseball field in a football stadium, and I was like, yo, like it's a really far throw. But I mean, a deep like I rarely get deep backhand like backhand throws from third, and the most of the time when you get those, they're hit so hard that you get it and you just put a hop on it, because it's like you don't need to get it there. And then the times
Yep.
you do need to get it there, it's more of like it's more the ones where you're coming in and you're gonna throw it on the run anyway. So that's kind of
Are you,
Uh,
so are you saying it's actually more taxing at shortstop because of the amount of balls that you would be fielding further back in the infield, I guess, basically.
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say like I think that the shortstop throw from deep in the hole I think is probably harder than the third base throw backhand, in my opinion.
Sure.
spring training's coming up. Um, is there anyone in particular? Obviously, you had Camp Story, so you got to interact with some of the guys, but is there anyone in particular? It could even be like, Dustin Pedroia has been at spring training the last few years, that you really like want to pick the brain of, uh, and it could be, learning something about playing a position or something in the batting in the batter's box, or even just like a mentality type thing. Like, is there someone you really want to pick the brain of?
Yeah, I definitely want to pick Jason Veritek's brain more, Tex, just because like I mean, guys won in Boston. He's big leaguer, really good big leaguer. So like I think for me, like to have him on the staff, like I'm just gonna try and be a sponge with him. Like when it comes to mentality, when it comes to just handling business, being a pro, like I would be foolish to like look at him and not use him as a resource. So I think going into camp, like I'm gonna try and have a bunch of questions for him, just about like like what it's like to win in Boston, like what it takes, kind of player, like what kind of player like you need to be to just be able to make an impact on your team, like stuff like that. Like And I'm sure he can give me like some pretty good answers on all those things. And then obviously, like if I got the opportunity to talk with Pedroia, like that would be sick. He's someone I watched growing up, and I always loved the way he played, just because he played hard. And I mean, yeah, definitely those two for sure.
Is that something you're good at? Is kind of like going up to someone and asking their opinions, their thoughts on whatever it is. I know that's something I struggle with. Like I will gladly take criticism, constructive criticism, opinions,
Mhm.
whatever it is, but I'm bad at asking for the favor of like, hey, can you come talk to me about this?
Yeah, I mean, I have no problem asking. Like, if I see Pedroia, like, and like obviously he's free, like I would love to just go talk to him and be like, "Yo, what do you got on this?" Or if he's ever like watching us take defense, like, be like, "Hey, what do you got? Like, what would you do here?" Especially as a second baseman, it's like, why would I not ask him
Yeah.
about certain things at second base? So yeah, I mean, just trying to be a sponge, like I said, and just use them whenever I can.
And then we're closing on an hour, so I don't want to take too much of your time. But I did want to ask you, you mentioned that you're up to 210. Um, I'm assuming it's mainly healthy eating, but is there uh, like a massive cheat day meal or like a fast food place or
Oh,
whatever it
yeah.
is that you like to indulge in? Maybe just eat a crap ton of ice cream or something.
Yeah, for me, it's In and Out. Like, I love In and Out so much, and my wife and I just moved to Arizona. Obviously, I'm from California, but I spent this whole off season in Arizona, and the fact that they have In and Out here is perfect. Like, so here's my order, and if you ever get it, I don't know if you could eat all this food, but I'll get three 4x4s, which is four patties, four cheeses. I'll get three of those, protein style, and and then I'll get like a fry and like just like a Sprite or something. But oh my gosh, it is so good. It's a lot of food, but it's
I've
really
never had In and Out before. I've never been to the West
good.
Coast, so
Oh, dude, you got to do
Gotta
it.
try it. You gotta
Their
try
fries
it.
are great too, man.
I've
Yeah,
heard great things. But
yeah. The burgers are definitely their selling point, but yeah, their fries are pretty good. But yeah, 4x4 protein style. If I were you and I was first trying it, just get a regular burger, like a double double. But like the 4x4 isn't even on their menu. Like it's one of those things where it's like you
you
gotta
got to
kind of
know to ask.
you gotta know to ask. So it's kind of sick, but that's
Yeah,
my
I'm
go-to.
more of a Wawa guy. That's my one big
Wawa,
cheat.
wow. Is that the gas station?
Yeah, but they have like the
Yeah, they have food there. It's like a
yeah, and
Buc-ee's
they have like those
almost. Like it's very
screens and they
small.
got like fries and
Yeah.
mac and cheese and hoagies and stuff. And it's gotten to the
Nice.
point I went shopping like around Christmas and someone said, "Oh, hey, what's up?" And I had no idea who it was. And then I went to Wawa like the next day and she was working there and I was
Oh
like, "Oh my God,
no.
I come here so much that she recognized me at a different store. I need to not be here as often as I
That's
am."
funny. Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to tell you about that one. That one's crazy.
That's pretty. That's like the Dunkin' worker recognizing you somewhere else. Like that's if you're going to to those places so often. That's
It's
yeah.
they're both right next to each other and they are both less than a mile from my house. It's hard to not go to Dunkin' and Wawa as often as possible.
That's
It's
funny.
very hard. I say as I drink my Dunkin'.
Yeah, you got your refresher. So I got two. I know we're trying to close this out, so I got two questions to kind of end it out. Two different topics. Number one is, do you collect any of your own baseball cards?
I don't I actually have some right here. 1 second. It's funny you asked that. So I have like some of them right here. I don't really collect them though. Someone just like I think sent me them, or maybe I had them because like whenever you sign, these ones are Bowman. Whenever I think I signed these ones, they sent me like my own case. I usually would just like give them to whoever wants them. Like if someone wants a card, I'm like, yo, here you go. But I don't really collect them. I have people come up to me with like their kind of binders, like, yo, do you want a card? And I'm like, nah, like that's all like I'd rather have you have it than me put it somewhere and not really, look at it too much.
Do you collect baseball cards other than yourself? Like, do you have any growing up or?
Uh, Growing up, I was actually a big like Pokemon guy.
Okay.
But I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't. I wasn't really like a big sports cards guy. It seems to be really big though, because I have a lot of friends who love it. But like, yeah, I used to do like Pokemon stuff. But
Did
that
you
was
ever
like,
learn to play the actual card game, Pokemon the card game?
yeah. Like that's what I would do. I had like a
Oh yeah.
really big binder of like the cards. I wasn't like really collecting the cards. It was more of like I had a lot of Pokemon cards and I would play the game with the cards.
Okay.
My mom
I've
threw out
just
my shiny
recently learned
Charizard.
this. Dude.
Actually,
Yeah. She didn't know. Like it was one of those things where me and my brother, like we had the cards stashed away because it was like, oh, we really don't play with them anymore. Don't get me wrong. I still collect cards. I still play all the games. I'm not going to act like I'm not a massive Pokemon nerd. But like when we were in college or something, she was cleaning out like the playroom because she was turning it into a guest room. And she threw out like 80% of our Pokemon cards, which included a shiny Charizard. And it, to this day, crushes me that I don't have that anymore.
yeah.
I'm like, man, I can go on eBay right now. Those things are selling for $1,000.
Bro.
Man.
Love you, Mom.
That's brutal. Well, I just recently got into that, so that's pretty cool. That's definitely can see the appeal for that. But going back to kind of, I was just asking about, like, I've seen the different Bowman cards you've signed for, like Inception and stuff like that. Is
Yeah.
there any cards that you have that's like your favorite, like that you were like, oh yeah, when I saw it, this is pretty sick? And then follow-up question, did you get to pick any of the pictures? Like, did you, or did they
No.
literally just, this is it?
Yeah. They used a picture. One of these, there's a picture that they used. I think it's my Topps card. And it's like a picture from the All-American Classic when I was in high school, and they just like jersey swapped me with like the Boston jersey and the Boston helmet, and I'm like you guys could have used a way better picture. But this Bowman one, this one's like my first. This one's in the FCL, so that's a pretty cool one. And then this one is when I was 15 playing for Team USA. This was like I think my first card I ever got. And I like this one a lot just because like it's my first card ever.
Yeah.
But there was one that a fan had. It was like a white one, and it was like something. It was like prospect something, and it's like a white card that says prospect on it. It was sweet. It was me in my Greenville uniform.
Oh, dude, so I have the Peyton Tolley one of the same brand, but
Yeah,
it
it's
looks
that
kind of
one.
like this. Yeah.
It was that one.
Yeah,
that one was sweet. It was like red. I think it was me in the drive one, the drive uniform. But it was sick. It was one of my favorite ones.
Yeah, that one they had it as an auto, but it was a sticker auto, so they just put that on after the fact, I think, for that.
Gotcha.
For that one. But okay, final question. Did you do any of the, like, Sogard and Eaton had their fantasy football league this year? Were you a part of that league? And if so, how'd you make out?
Yeah, I didn't do anything with fantasy this year. Like every time that something happens with fantasy, though, I wish I did because like all the guys are talking about it, and I'm just kind of sitting there like, oh, like I have no idea what we're talking about, but I'll listen. So this year I'll do something with fantasy. But like I just don't know ball. Like I gotta kind of learn because like I remember I think it was in 24 I did fantasy with the Portland team, and like the first player I picked was injured, and I had like no idea, and like it was just like my first round pick. I forgot who it was, but he was injured. I'm just like, bro, like I'm already my season's over already.
It's probably Christian McCaffrey or something like that. Do you have a rooting interest in the NFL at all? Like,
Do I have
from California? Like a favorite team for NFL?
I grew up a Chargers fan. That was kind of, I guess, my team. But like ever since I've signed with the Red Sox, like I like keeping up with the Patriots. Obviously they just beat the Chargers, so I thought that was cool. But yeah, I mean, really, I've been keeping up with like them. And then I grew up like a Lakers fan. And then yeah, that's really it.
So you're gonna be watching Patriots game on Sunday, then, I assume.
I will be, yeah.
All right, cool. Gotta definitely play towards the fan base there and get some extra brownie points with the Patriots. But that's. Have you been? I know this is another question. I'm sorry. Have you been to like any of the Bruins, Celtics, Patriots games?
Yeah, we went to a Celtics and Bruins game. We went to a Celtics game during Fenway Fest, and then Bruins game during RDP. So that was a really cool experience. It was pretty sweet.
Was it low
Nice.
key, or did they kind of like announce that you guys were there, or was it just kind of like, hey, we're hanging out, and if people notice us, they notice us? But
yeah, it was more of like if people notice us, they notice us. Like we had a suite, we had 2 suites connected, and I mean it was like the whole big league team. It was basically all the guys, like all 40 man. And then me and Arias were the only 2 kind of prospects that weren't 40 man. But it was cool.
were there a lot of people coming up to you then? I'm assuming if it was the whole team,
no,
kind of hard to miss.
Not with the suites. Like they weren't coming to the suite, but like suites next to us, you could see like people were kind of like
Leaning over.
yeah, they're like pointing at us, and it was cool.
All right. Well, Matt, are you good?
I am good.
Okay. Is there anything you want to shout out, Mikey? Anything you want Red Sox fans to know? Anything you want to throw out there before we head off?
I mean, I think I'm good. Just
All right.
appreciate you guys having me on.
Yeah, thank you. This was Mikey's official 3rd time. As Matt mentioned before, he technically has a 4th on a shorter interview episode, but I'm counting this as Mikey's official 3rd time, which makes him the first 3-timer. That puts him ahead of Liam Carroll, David Sandlin. I feel like I'm forgetting someone, so I feel bad about that, but puts him ahead of a couple people. So we're gonna have to figure out how to get them to tie it up. But yeah, thank you for coming on, Mikey.
Yeah, no problem.
For Mikey, for Matt, I'm Hunter. Check out the Pesky Report. Subscribe to us. We're the Pesky Report on Twitter and Instagram, I believe, and YouTube. So subscribe, like, share. Podcast is on basically every podcast form. So yeah, check us out, and thanks. Have a great day.